What's up, everybody? This is Rob of Archangel Ink, www.archangelink.com. In this video, I want to address some concerns, I guess, some questions, some comments, some feedback that we got also in an author group from a member of the group who, I guess was just concerned that there might be potential for scammers or for dishonesty or disreputable behavior from service providers out there. And as a service provider myself, the owner of Archangel Ink, that's something I'm sensitive to. I understand, I can appreciate that concern. So I'll give a little bit of an overview and then try to offer a handful of thoughts on it. So essentially, there was a young prospective author, I think still a teenager, who was asking some questions, wanted to get a sense of, how much they should invest, what's it cost to get into self-publishing. And one of the replies was summarizing, you should invest very little. Don't be deceived by people. Don't be convinced that you have to spend a lot of money to produce your book. And be careful that there may be scammers out there, people who are looking to take advantage of your interest and desire to publish and may offer very little value compared to what they charge, and they might lead you down the wrong path, lead you astray, and leave you feeling bad about the whole process. And I understand that. I'm really sensitive to that. And it is absolutely true that you can produce a book for very little investment. If you are doing it yourself and you have lots of sweat equity to give, lots of time and energy to research, then you absolutely can produce this this sort of work, produce a publication, publish it on Kindle or CreateSpace or elsewhere at a minimum of cost. And in fact, that's what we did. Now, I have another video where I talk about when it makes sense to outsource and when it doesn't. And one of the things that I say in that video is, if you already are doing something that's relatively high value and you have some good reason to believe that your material, that your publication efforts might bear more fruit than not, and that you would be able to leverage something that you're doing already at relatively high value and hire some people to bring on, then you might consider outsourcing it. So for example, it might take you 100 hours of scouring the internet, of researching, of reading books, of going on forums, going on various different websites, author pages, and so forth, to find out the information that you need to publish your book. Now, maybe it's going to cost you $100 or $500 to publish that book if you bring on some outside help. Is there something that you can do with those 100 hours of your time that's going to be worth more than the $100 or $500 or $1,000 that you're going to spend? Now, if you are relatively young and you don't have highly developed skills, you don't have high value skills yet, maybe not. Maybe it's a really great investment in learning how to do this work yourself. And it could be an investment not just in the particular project that you're looking to publish, but in your skill development. You might realize at some point, hey, I actually have an interest and a capacity to do some formatting, to do editing, to do cover design, to do typesetting. And that might be of value. You might actually bootstrap a new enterprise for yourself. In fact, that's sort of how Archangel Ink formed. I partnered with Matt Stone, who is my company co-founder, to get some of his books out into the wider market. He was publishing on his own site and wanted to kind of expand into new markets. And I said, hey, let's get into the Amazon market, the CreateSpace paperback market, the Audible audiobook market. Let's figure out how to do this. And he was fortunately in a position to hire me out, to delegate to me a chance to spend time and energy, figure out how that had to be done. And in exchange, I got a portion of whatever we were able to make on the back end when this was sold. So that worked out really well. Eventually, we realized that there was some value in all of the time and energy and sweat equity that we put into it, that we might be able to fast track that experience for other authors. And so we started doing that. We eventually expanded the team and have a number of really great people on hand now who can help. And that may happen to you as well. You may realize that you're really good, you're really fast, you're really efficient, you're really capable. You have not just a talent for it, but an appreciation for it, and enjoy the craft. And if so, that's great. That's really, really cool. And you might find yourself in the midst of a new enterprise. All of that said, I think one thing that this individual missed is that not everybody does have that time and energy to invest. Not everybody wants to spend 100 hours or 500 hours or however long. I mean, in our case, it took us literally months and years to learn what we know, things that we may be able to answer in a 5 or 10 or 15-minute video that took several weeks, several months, maybe even longer to consolidate, having the experience of, yeah, this is what CreateSpace is like. These are the things that we've run into. Based on our experience, this is what we'd recommend, rather than going to try to parse that information out from many disparate sources, figuring out what the overlapping information is, what's trustworthy, what's not trustworthy, what is likely to be coherent and apply to your situation, what's not. Maybe it makes sense to bring on some people to do that. Now, to the question of, oh yes, maybe this information is free, that's fair. I understand that. But if we're in business and we're able to actually dedicate time and energy to continuing to learn this craft, to continuing to help people, we need to receive value in kind. This can't be a volunteer-only operation because we still have to keep the lights on. We still have our own needs that we have to attend to, and for better or worse, we're going to, if we are a successful business, going to have to, again, receive value in kind for what we're able to do in terms of consolidating that learning or that information, speeding up that learning curve, bringing some measure of skill and technical proficiency and that kind of thing. So that's where value comes in. Now, one other thing that I'll mention is, yeah, there are scammers. There are people who are disreputable, who have had bad experiences. One of the things that we really emphasize and encourage is for people to give feedback. I mean, as my coordinator mentioned on that Facebook group, our reputation speaks for itself. We have a Facebook page. People can publicly post their reviews there. If people have bad experiences, then there's nothing stopping them from indicating that. And we do our very best to provide a good experience. And that's often the case with the internet. There are avenues for word to get around. If you do have a bad reputation, if you are disreputable in some way, then there's a good chance if you try and stick around in that industry for a while, that you will lose your customer base, that you will lose the respect and the prestige of the people who you are relying on to patronize your business. So it makes good sense, especially these days in the age of the internet and the age of widely available information, to act with integrity. And that's what we've tried to do. Finally, one other note that I will mention is we do offer lots of free resources because I certainly understand and can appreciate that not everybody has a significant sum to invest, especially if you're a first-time author or if you are just starting out, maybe haven't even left school yet, maybe haven't any sense of what your career is likely to be, what your trajectory is likely to be. You may not want to or not have the means to invest. And so we do have a free report, which is available at our website. We also have this YouTube channel. There is, as of current recording, something like 40 or 50, maybe more videos that we've put out there. We answer lots of questions, and we have a Facebook page where you can also ask questions, and often we'll put together a video and try and address them. And the reason we do that is because we want to make it easy for other people who have that question later to have access to it. So if I publish an answer now on YouTube or on Facebook, then that information is going to be available perpetually going forward for as long as these platforms are here, as long as the information is current and we don't take it down because we have better, more current information to replace it with. So I can have 5 or 10 or 15 minutes that I spend answering a question now that can help people a month, 2 months, 10 months, 2 years, 5 years down the road, and not have to spend that same 15 minutes time and time again if we get a dozen, 2 dozen, 100, 500, 10,000 views. So anyway, that is what we do to make it accessible and possible for people to still benefit from what we do. We really want to help people share their story, build their brand, get their message out there, become the sort of author and professional and creative person that they are striving to be, and make that as simple as possible for them. So feel free to leave some comments or questions down below. If you have other video topics or ideas, I'd be happy to answer them as best as I can. So leave them down below. Thanks again for watching, and to that individual young author out there, we wish you luck, and if we can be of help, let us know. Thanks again. This is Rob Archangel, archangelink.com. I will see you all next time.